with summer approaching, although it's not quite here yet, I started getting a hankering for good salads and stuff that you'd normally have out with a barbecue. And one of the recipes that I prefer to make at home is ranch dressing. So today on Jay's World Kitchen, I'm going to show you a really simple ranch dressing that you can make at home using either dried or, in my case, some dried and some fresh ingredients because I have them on hand. And it just gives it a little edge to what you can buy in the store, and it's a little bit better. Also stay tuned at the end of this video for an opportunity to ask some of your questions for a Q&A video coming up. But for this recipe, you're going to need a cup of mayo, a half a cup of sour cream, a quarter of a teaspoon of garlic powder, a quarter of a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of parsley, and a quarter of a teaspoon of dill. Now I am going to be using fresh parsley and fresh dill, and just a little note here, don't pack it in there really tightly. You want it to just be a loose pack, and especially with fresh dill because the flavor is so much stronger than with dried dill. So if you are using dried parsley and dill, then just measure it out and level off your measure. 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Now you can just sprinkle on a little bit of salt and pepper at the end, and that's normally what I do because it already measured out those two ingredients. The wonderful thing about this is you can really adjust this to your taste. Once again, we're going to be just using our little food processor, and very, very simply, we're just going to put in our pepper, our salt, our dill, and again, don't go overboard with dill. It can become very overpowering very quickly. Parsley, our garlic powder, our onion powder, and now our wet ingredients. So our lemon juice, our little bit of sour cream, and our mayo. And I really do recommend using a really good mayonnaise. Don't use some kind of salad dressing or salad whipped topping or anything like that. You really want to use a proper egg mayonnaise. And really, it's as simple as that. The one thing that is very important here is that when we mix this together, we're going to do it for a long time because we really want to make sure that the dill and the parsley, because they're fresh, are well chopped up. Remember, there's nothing wrong with using dried. I just happen to have the fresh on hand, and I do prefer putting fresh ingredients in if I have them available. And really, that's about it. About a minute I left it going, and I sort of pulsed it at the end just to make sure that everything was moved up in there. And as you can see, a sort of perfect ranch dressing consistency. Slightly runny, but still thick enough to stick to stuff. So we're going to give this a taste. I'm actually quite keen to try this. I actually have some of this almost every day as a snack with celery, but today I'm just going to try it with a spoon because why not? It's such a wonderful combination of slightly tart and bordering on sweet, but the spices and the herbs in there are just so well mixed together. It really does make the perfect dip for celery or any other fresh vegetables that you want to try. And the nice thing is you can really adjust the flavor to be closer to what you like. If you like a little bit more dill in there, you can add more. If you want a little bit more garlic or onion in there, I know some recipes call for chives. You can always add chives in there too, and do the same thing. Just make sure that if they're fresh, hold back a little bit on the quantity and just blend it really, really well. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and remember to turn on notifications so that you know when my next video drops. Now, next week I'd like to do a Q&A video for 250 subscribers, which we just reached this week. So please send me your questions by visiting my Facebook page, and that link is below in the comments section, and dropping me a message on there or on Instagram. I do love to hear from you. I love to answer your questions, and I'm really looking forward to doing this Q&A video and sharing some information with you. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and happy eating.